Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela from TulipArt Designs and you are welcome or welcome back on my creative channel. Here I'm giving you watercolor sketching ideas, tips and tricks, and right now we are doing the 100 watercolor sketches in 2025. It's a creative challenge that I hope that you are enjoying it as well. At home today we are sketching my favorite watercolor supplies. So they're also here on my desk. So the palette and the pen and the brush, and then on the page. So if you need the outlines, they are available on my Patreon. I will link it below and let's just start it. So before we start, again, let me just walk you through the supplies. If you are new to the channel, watercolor sketchbook, I use cold press because it has a little bit of texture and I really enjoy it. Then some watercolor paints. Mine are my Mary Blue. I really like them. Any watercolor will do the job. Then two different sizes of a round brush. I have 10 and 4. 8 will be also a good one. Then I have a drawing pen. It's a water resistant size 02, which means that when you add watercolor on top of it, it will not bleed in the water. And then a jelly roll pen to add some highlights in the end. Some water, some towel, paper towel, it will do the job. It's about cleaning your brush sometimes to take off a little bit of this extra water that we have. I have two clips here to just fix my page like this so it doesn't move all the time. And let's just add one here. And today, as I told you, it's about drawing my favorite art supplies, my favorite watercolor supplies. So my palette, it's this one that I will just sketch, a brush, and then my pen. So these are the three supplies. Feel free to get in the challenge and sketch your own supplies. Otherwise, you can find outlines template on my Patreon and to join me for the tutorial and follow it step by step. Okay, let's start with inking our illustration. I already have a pencil sketch, but you can definitely skip it and get the outlines. So it will be definitely more easier. Okay, it will be definitely easier for you, and just start enjoying drawing and painting. I really let perfection go, and I don't try to make perfect straight lines because it's not about perfection, but it's more about enjoying the whole process. So if you can do the same, then perfect. If it's hard for you and you really like to make these perfect smooth lines, that's also fine. Just make sure that you are enjoying the whole process. Okay, then here the handle. Like this. Sometimes you can see that I am picking up my pen, and that's okay. Then I go back and add thickness. Let's say I will add thickness on the bottom side. Just here. Oh, I have missed something. Okay. All right, and then my palette. So let me just zoom in so you see better. It would be nice if there was someone here checking the camera and the screen to make it nicer for you to watch. That's okay. I hope that you understand. Sometimes I definitely forget to check the camera, as it just happened a week ago when I didn't even turn it on, and I thought I filmed a nice tutorial, but actually I didn't. It was definitely not nice. So I go back now on my sketch and add second line. Then I have these guidelines that will help me to make my parts for the paint. I don't know, I call them beds like a bed for my paint. So I go one time and I will probably go a second time to add a little bit of thickness. You can see that each of these segments, parts, they are not the same. That's okay. It's totally fine. I am going a bit fast sometimes just because I am not patient. But if you can go slowly and draw and focus on your breathing, then it could be even more relaxing than I am doing it. Then I will add a second line just here on the left and the bottom part. And I really enjoy the sketch style because it definitely helps me let perfection go. But if you want to trace the illustration and use very smooth and very nice lines, just go for it. Okay. Then I have one big one just here. It is kind of a mixing area for my palette. Okay. We have some paint inside. This one is something like, I don't know, like this. I am just making some random shapes for the paint that is inside. And I look at my paint for some inspiration, but they're not really the same. Still, this is an illustration, it's not a realistic painting, so that's okay. We can definitely manage to keep it simple. It's kind of a doodling even, but then in a very sketchy style. Okay, I think because I have here a few details, I can also add to every single one of these. Okay. I need my eraser to erase the pencil sketch. I do that just because when we add watercolor on top of it, I cannot erase it anymore. Okay. Okay, that was my nail polish. You can see I was not very careful. So I have a little bit on my paper. That's fine. Let me just take my brush and I will start by adding water here on the handle. And then I will pick a little bit of red together with some orange and brown colors. I already have here some mix from before. Let me just move it so you can see. This is burnt sienna. I can take some, and maybe burnt umber to make it even darker. Whatever color is your brush, if you don't have it on your palette, you can go with something that is very close, or as I did, just try to mix it by yourself. I'm adding a little bit of darker burnt umber here, so just like this. Okay, for the bristles, let's add a little bit of water. They're kind of a brownish, so I will take whatever I have here and add it. I don't have black, so my pen is black. I will just add some water inside. I'm going very quickly. I am not following so perfectly the outlines, and I have Payne's gray, and I will mix it with a little bit of burnt umber to make nice and dark color. It's almost black, not completely, but it's kind of okay for me. And I will go in and throw it just around the edges. Okay, that's enough. It's very transparent, so I can see my ink lines. Then I want to go and paint the whole palette with some basic color. So what I mean when I say basic color, I mean that I want to use very light color for the main color of the palette, and then I will add my watercolors. Okay, and then I have here some color from before. Let's see what will happen. I will add more water so it will be even more transparent. What I have here, I see I did mix some purple, and I have the red and yellow and oranges. So this is how I have this kind of a skin tone color. It's kind of a almost like my dirty water. So I just want to give it a small touch of a color so it will be a bit different than my paper. And I know that my paint will go only where I have water, so that's what's in my control. Then I need this to dry, to get dry before I add other colors. This one should be gray, as you see. So let me pick a little bit of that mix that I made for the pen and just add it here. All right, and remember that we're doing watercolor sketching, which means that we can make mistakes, and that's the charm of the whole exercise. Okay, I will make this dry using my heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, wait for this to dry, and then we can continue. I will use my smaller brush and I will start adding the colors. So this one is my burnt umber, and I am taking very concentrated paint directly from my pen, and I will paint, and I am using wet on dry technique, which means that my paper will be dry and I am getting these hard edges where my brush is touching the paper. Okay, and then I will just wash my brush, and with that water I will go here, touch it a little bit and let it bleed. Okay, and if you feel like you need some extra paint, you can definitely grab some and go in. And because my paper is just a little bit warm from the heat gun, it dries faster than I want, but that's okay. So that's the first one, and it's very shiny, so you can't see actually. Then I have Payne's Gray for my next one. So I'm taking paint directly from the pan and I'm painting my piece here, which is supposed to be my paint. And then I go in the water, so my brush is less loaded with paint. And I do this. Okay, so this was more successful. Let's grab the next color. You can use the colors you have on your palette. So I am adding paint. I dip my brush, wipe it on the side, and with more transparent and more watery paint, I go around like this. Then let's grab the green. This should be my Hooker's green here. I paint this part. I dip my brush in water, wipe it on the side, and go back in. And because this first part is still wet, it just bleeds. And it creates very nice different values of the color. Then let's take some green gold. So every time I just do the same. I paint with very pigmented color. I dip my brush in the water, wipe it on the side, and paint the rest. Then some yellow. This exercise is very nice to just try and swatch the colors you have. And also in the end you end up with a very nice page. Okay. Some burnt sienna. Let me know what colors do you have in your palette. Just you can comment below the video. I'm curious. And tell me which one is your favorite. I think every day I have a different color that is my favorite. Or maybe not every day, but like weekly kind of a thing. That's what you can also see on my Patreon exclusive classes. There is always a color that is kind of helping me, you know, to decide what should be the monthly theme. So basically in June we have red. That's why also my nails are red. Yeah, a bit too crazy, but I enjoy making my tutorials and classes for you. Okay, now I have my red here, the alizarin, then dip my brush in the water, wiping it on the side, which makes it lighter paint on the brush. Then the next one is my Rose Lake. Okay. Too much water, so I'm tapping quickly on my towel. Okay. The next one is light red that I have here. Yeah, I don't have orange on my palette, and I also don't have purple on my palette. Then I dip my brush in the water. Okay. Then yellow. So this one is kind of a lighter yellow. Yeah, I don't have orange, but I have two yellows. And I have two greens and two blues, but orange we can make, right? So that's not a problem for us. Okay. Then yellow ochre. So it's a bit uncomfortable to paint when this part here is still wet. So here is one tip. You can always start from the left part and painting to the right. Okay. And then the other green that I have here. I almost never use this green. It's actually a very nice and vibrant color. Maybe I should do something with it. Okay. And the last one is another blue that I have. It's a little bit lighter than the other one. just like this. We can make some interesting mixes here. So I have some green, a little bit of water, and I have some reddish pinkish color. You could see I'm touching the first part and it bleeds very nice. Then I have some other color here, and some oranges on this side, which is not so orange anymore. Okay, just like this. What I want to do is to make shadows so it doesn't look like my objects are, you know, flying in the air. So I'm getting a very transparent grayish color, and I will make here one line just parallel to my ink lines, and then here as well, just like this. I take more and I do the same for the other elements. So for my pen, and then for my brush. So you make one line following your subject. Okay, that's it. I want to let this dry, and I want to add a little bit of highlights using my Jelly Roll pen. Okay, let me grab my Jelly Roll pen, and what I like to do is to add a little bit of highlights, and I'm adding them where I have the darkest parts. So imagine that here around this brush, around the edge, I'm just adding a little bit of white. And because I was using my heat gun, it is harder to make my pen work. All right, and then also here next to my ink lines, and then here. And I am not redrawing the whole thing, but just adding in small parts, okay? Let's say here, and then around the edge. Okay, I will do the same here. So I will kind of follow the paint, and parallel to the ink lines, I'm adding some white lines. Also here. So it looks like a light reflection. And this is a very nice technique, especially if you're like me and you can't leave white spots just because you work with the water and you wet the whole area. So you don't really have white spots. So you need to bring that light back on the page. You can use white gouache for this or bleed proof white. I just like drawing with the pen. It's very quickly and it's definitely easy. Okay, just like this. I think that's it. That was it for today. Thank you very much for being here and for watching my video. If you need the outlines template, it's available on my Patreon, so I will link it below in case you want to check it out. Consider subscribing to my channel so you will not miss any of the coming videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!